When I was little, I had what most would say a pretty normal life. Now, that is up to my 6th birthday. My memory of the first 5 years or so of my life is a little hazy, but boy, do I ever remember my 6th birthday. It was a Saturday. My mom and dad took me to the amusement park. I would say it was one of the best days of my life. Later that night, when I went to sleep, I heard screaming, followed by crying and then silence. Dead silence. The hairs on the back of my neck were sticking up, and I was sweating. I didn't want to know what happened. I just closed my eyes and cried myself to sleep. I woke up the next morning to breakfast in bed. My mom said, "Good morning, sweetie." I had been really confused by the look on her face, and I asked, "Mom, what happened last night?" She then just repeated, "Good morning, sweetie." She had a smile on her face that was just plain old creepy. I had thought it was a bad dream and I ate my breakfast. I went to say good morning to my dad. Mom said he was in the office. I walked in there, and there I saw my dad, or at least some of him. There in front of me was my dad's head, legs, arms, and a large plate. I screamed loudly and started to cry. I then noticed a shadow. It was coming from right behind me. I quickly turned around to see what looked like my mom. Her arms and legs had cuts all over them, and her nose had no skin. She was holding a shotgun in her hands. She came up to me and whispered in my ear, "Happy birthday." She then took the shotgun and shot herself in the mouth, killing herself instantly. I called the police and they rushed over right away. I was put into an insane asylum. Apparently they thought I was behind all of this. At the time, I thought to myself, how could they think the criminal behind this was a 6-year-old? It wasn't until 6 years later that I was let out. I was to be sent to my grandfather. They told me everyone else in my family has gone missing. My grandfather put me on the guest room he had. He had trouble sleeping that first night, so he told me a story. He said, "Do you know what happened to all your family?" "I'll tell you. Happiness. This is what happened. They learned what true happiness is. And do you know what? You will too know soon enough. Everyone will. Everyone has. And everyone does." He then walked out of the room. I thought about what he said. It didn't come to me that night, but it didn't soon enough. Just like he said. Then, next morning, I woke up in my grandfather's body at the foot of the bed. His head was a perfect hole, right through the side of it, with a bloody pistol in his right hand. I called the police and they took me to the back of the insane asylum. I was now put into a special room with nothing but spongy walls and a bed. Then I pressed the button for security to come. Right when one of them came, I tackled him. I took his gun and pointed it directly at my forehead, and I pressed the trigger. I fell to the ground with a big thud and released my last breath. I whispered, "This is true."